Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we are tackling something that's probably on a lot of minds: weight loss.
It's a popular topic.
It is. But we're not going to rehash the same old eat less, move more advice.
I don't know.
We're going deeper.
Much deeper.
We're unpacking some research that reveals the often overlooked factors that truly drive success in shedding those pounds.
Get ready for some surprises.
Get ready.
Because this research really challenges some of those assumptions that we have.
Yeah, what immediately struck me was the way it dismantles this popular 50-50 myth.
Oh, yeah, the 50-50 myth.
We've all heard it: diet and exercise. Those are the two magic ingredients, right?
Right, supposedly.
But this research throws a curveball.
It does.
It flat out states that diet and exercise only account for 25% of the equation.
Of the equation.
25%. I was floored when I read that.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking when you think about it.
So what about the other 75%? What's the secret sauce we're missing?
Well, the research dives into two key elements that we don't often associate with weight loss. Sleep, which we know is crucial for overall health.
Of course.
And then this idea of commitment.
Commitment.
Something we don't quantify as easily as calories or minutes on the treadmill.
Right.
Interestingly, the research suggests that a whopping 50% of your success hinges on commitment, your ability to stick with the plan no matter what.
50% just commitment.
That's what the research says.
Wow.
Have you ever noticed how you can start a diet with incredible enthusiasm only to see that motivation fizzle out after a week or two?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
You're all in, meal prepping, hitting the gym, feeling amazing.
Right.
Then something happens.
Uh-oh.
Life throws a curveball.
That's right.
Or you just hit a wall.
Yep.
And suddenly that bag of chips is looking way more appealing than your prep salad.
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us.
Exactly. And the research highlights that fleeting feeling of inspiration we often rely on.
Oh, yeah.
You see someone looking incredible, and you're instantly motivated to get in shape yourself.
Right? You think, oh, I want to look like that.
I got to get to the gym.
Yes. I need to change my life.
But that initial spark is powerful, but it's also temporary.
Very temporary.
Relying solely on that fleeting feeling is almost a guaranteed setup for failure.
Absolutely.
So how do we harness that initial excitement and turn it into something more sustainable?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. And the research actually gives a practical example.
Okay.
It talks about setting very specific weight loss goals with deadlines.
Okay, I like that.
Like, I'm going to lose 5 pounds by July 1st and another 5 by August 1st.
Right.
It's about creating concrete targets.
I love that example because it speaks to the power of taking something abstract,
Right?
like the desire to lose weight, and turning it into a tangible, achievable plan.
A plan.
It's not just about wishing for a different body.
Yeah.
It's about setting clear milestones and holding yourself accountable.
I like that, holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Speaking of holding ourselves accountable, the research goes on to paint this very relatable picture.
Oh, I like relatable pictures.
Imagine you're trying to swap out your usual sugary breakfast. Maybe you're a milk granola and peanut butter and jelly kind of person.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
For a healthier alternative, a quick jog followed by strawberries and eggs.
Okay, much healthier.
Now, what's fascinating here is that the research doesn't just emphasize the what.
Right.
It dives into the how.
The how.
It's not enough to just decide on a healthier breakfast.
Yeah.
You need to set yourself up for success.
I think that's a really important point.
It is.
A lot of people skip over that step.
Yeah, and the research uses this great visual.
Okay.
Lay out your running clothes the night before.
I do that.
Have those strawberries and eggs ready to grab and go.
Yeah.
It's all about minimizing those moments of decision fatigue when you're tired or rushed.
Makes sense.
Because let's be real, if that peanut butter and jelly is staring you in the face every time you open the fridge,
It's going to be hard to resist.
it's going to take a Herculean effort to resist.
Exactly. That's why this idea of minimizing temptation is so crucial.
Minimizing temptation.
And it's another key point the research emphasizes.
I like that.
Willpower is important, of course,
Of course.
but it has its limits.
It really does. We're all human after all.
We are. We all have those moments of weakness. I think the example in the research really resonated with me.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to resist a delicious, tempting meal at a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
It's so easy to fall into that just this one time trap.
Oh, the just one time trap is so dangerous.
It is.
Because one time turns into 2 times, turns into 10 times.
Exactly. And the research reminds us that the key isn't just about white-knuckling it through every temptation.
Right.
It's about being proactive and creating an environment where you're not constantly battling yourself.
I love that setting ourselves up for success rather than constantly fighting an uphill battle.
Yes, I love that. So, for everyone listening, take a moment to think about your own environment.
What are your peanut butter and jelly equivalents? Those temptations you need to avoid.
It's a great question to ask yourself.
What tweaks can you make to reduce those triggers? Could clearing out the junk food drawer or prepping healthier snacks make a difference?
Absolutely. It's about making those small, strategic changes
Small changes.
that can have a huge impact on your choices.
Huge impact.
Now, here's where the research takes a really interesting turn.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It talks about how the longer you stick with those healthy choices,
Right.
the more effortless they become.
Effortless.
It's not just about forcing yourself to do something you dislike.
Right.
It's about those choices eventually becoming
Second nature.
second nature, a core part of your lifestyle.
Like, think about the healthy habits you already have.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning or going for a walk after dinner.
Right.
Those things probably felt deliberate at first, but now they're just part of your routine.
And that's exactly what this research is getting at, the transformation from willpower to habit.
Willpower to habit.
It's about taking those initial acts of conscious choice and turning them into sustainable long-term patterns.
Okay, so we've talked about the importance of commitment, setting, realistic goals, preparing our environment for success, and the power of building healthy habits.
A lot of great stuff so far.
But let's be honest,
Oh, yeah?
those first few weeks of any weight loss journey can be tough.
They can be.
You're putting in the effort, but you might not see the results right away.
And that can be really discouraging.
It can be discouraging.
It can be. And that's where the research's advice on tracking progress becomes so important.
Tracking progress.
It emphasizes that visible changes might take time, and sometimes our bodies change in ways we don't immediately see.
So it's not all about what we see in the mirror.
Not at all.
Okay.
It specifically recommends progress pictures and weekly weigh-ins.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a more objective way to measure your progress.
Right, because I've heard that your body might shed fat from less noticeable areas first.
That's right.
So even if you're not seeing a dramatic shift in the mirror, things could be happening beneath the surface.
Exactly. It's like an iceberg. There's a lot going on below the waterline.
I like that analogy.
And the research even offers some reassurance,
Okay.
saying that once those visible changes start to appear, they often become more noticeable week by week.
Okay, so it's about trusting the process and sticking with it even when you feel like you're not making progress.
Exactly. Trust the process.
So we've talked a lot about the mindset and behavioral aspects of weight loss,
Right. The mental game.
but let's dive into some of the nuts and bolts.
Okay, let's get practical.
The research is pretty clear that to lose fat, you need to be in a
Calorie deficit,
calorie deficit.
which simply means consuming fewer calories than your body burns.
Okay.
It's a basic physics, really. Energy in versus energy out.
Energy in versus energy out.
I like that. The research gives a straightforward example.
Okay.
If you burn 2,000 calories a day, eating 1,700 would put you in a deficit.
Got it.
But it also cautions against those crash diets.
Slash diets.
Those drastic calorie cuts that are rarely sustainable.
Yeah, nobody wants to starve themselves.
Exactly. It's not healthy.
So it's about finding an approach that feels manageable
Right.
and doesn't leave you feeling deprived and miserable.
Exactly. You have to enjoy the process.
The research even mentions online calorie calculators as a helpful starting point.
Yeah, those can be useful.
So as a way to get an estimate.
Exactly. But it's important to remember that they're just estimates.
Estimate.
Everyone's metabolism is different.
Right.
And factors like activity level, body composition, and even genetics can influence how many calories you burn.
So it's about finding what works for you.
Exactly. Experimentation.
Experimentation.
The research suggests that if you're not seeing progress, you might need to tweak things.
Okay.
Adjust your calorie intake or increase your exercise.
So fine-tuning. Now, I know calorie counting can feel overwhelming to some people.
Well, no.
It can feel like you're constantly measuring and calculating.
Right, like you're doing math all day long.
But the research offers a practical tip for simplifying the process.
Oh, I like practical tips.
Tell me more about that. Any tips for making calorie tracking less of a chore are always welcome.
Well, this one's called the Roundup method.
Roundup method.
And it's surprisingly simple.
Okay.
If you think you're eating 300 calories,
Right.
just assume it's closer to 500.
Oh, so Roundup.
Exactly. It's a way of being a bit more cautious with your estimates,
Ice.
especially when you're eating out or dealing with foods that are harder to track accurately.
So like if you're not sure exactly how many calories are in something, you just err on the side of caution?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Better to overestimate than underestimate.
I like that it takes the pressure off having to be perfectly precise with every single calorie.
Right.
But of course, portion control still matters even with this method.
Oh, absolutely. Portion control is always key.
Speaking of food, the research also highlights the importance of protein.
Ah, protein, the building block of muscle.
I'm all ears on this one. As you know, protein is crucial for muscle building and feeling full.
It is. And the research underscores that while meticulously tracking every single macro isn't essential,
But
making sure you're getting enough protein is key.
Mhm.
It plays a vital role in preserving muscle mass, keeping you feeling satiated, and supporting overall health.
Got it. So prioritize protein.
Yes.
Fats and carbs can then fill the rest of your calorie needs.
Exactly.
The research also mentions some healthy swaps that can make a big difference.
Oh, yes. Healthy swaps.
I love practical tips like these things like choosing low-fat cheese
Right.
or using cauliflower rice instead of regular rice.
Good example.
Those are great examples of small changes that can add up over time.
Exactly. It's about finding ways to make healthier choices without feeling like you're sacrificing flavor or enjoyment.
Right.
The research also touches on some other practical tips that I think are worth mentioning.
Please do. I'm always looking for simple tweaks to improve my daily routine.
Well, staying hydrated is crucial.
Hydration.
Aim for plenty of water throughout the day.
Okay.
This not only supports your body's functions, but can also help curb those unnecessary cravings.
Water's so important.
It is. Another great tip is skipping liquid calories altogether.
Liquid calories.
Those sodas, juices, and fancy coffee drinks
Oh, yeah.
can really sabotage your efforts without you even realizing it.
Oh, I know those sugary drinks can be sneaky culprits.
They can be.
I've definitely been guilty of that in the past. What about when you have a sweet tooth and need something to satisfy those cravings?
Well, the research suggests opting for zero-calorie sweeteners.
0-calorie sweet.
Or even those zero-calorie sodas.
Oh,
It's not about depriving yourself. It's
Right.
about finding healthier alternatives that allow you to enjoy those flavors without derailing your progress.
So we talked about nutrition and calorie management.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears and talk about exercise.
Okay, let's move our bodies.
The research mentions various types of workouts,
Okay?
like weightlifting, walking, cardio, and even high-intensity interval training, HIT.
All good options.
I love that it doesn't prescribe a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right. Find what works for you.
Exactly. It's about finding something you enjoy and can stick with.
Consistency is key.
Consistency.
And that's much easier to achieve when you're doing something you genuinely like.
Absolutely. Whether it's hitting the gym, going for a walk in the park, or following along with a workout video at home, the important thing is to move your body regularly.
Yes, movement is medicine.
And it's not just about burning calories, right?
Yeah.
Exercise has so many other benefits for both our physical and mental health.
So many
It
benefits.
can boost your mood, improve your sleep, reduce stress. It's truly a win-win all around.
Absolutely.
And speaking of sleep, this is where the research really emphasizes its importance.
Sleep is so crucial.
It highlights how crucial good sleep is for hormone regulation and metabolism, both of which play a vital role in weight loss.
It's all connected.
It's fascinating how all these seemingly separate pieces, nutrition, exercise, sleep, mindset, all fit together to create this complex puzzle that is weight loss.
It is a complex puzzle.
We often think of it as this isolated battle against the scale,
Right.
but it's truly about creating a holistic, healthy lifestyle.
A lifestyle change.
Yeah, it really is amazing how interconnected everything is when it comes to our health. And we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive,
Yeah.
from debunking that 50-50 myth to exploring the power of habit formation and the importance of sleep.
Right. All these key pieces.
But now I'm curious about the long game.
the long game.
How do we make these changes last? Because let's be real,
Okay.
we've all been there.
Uh-oh.
You lose a few pounds, you're feeling great, but then life throws a wrench in the works, and those old habits start creeping back in.
It's so easy to fall back into those old patterns.
It is. So how do we avoid that?
Well, that's where the research's focus on commitment and mindset really resonates with me.
Okay, commitment and mindset.
But it's not enough to just know what to do intellectually.
Right.
You have to be willing to put in the effort consistently day after day, even when motivation dips, and it will dip.
It will. We're all human.
Exactly.
So it's about finding that deeper why behind our weight loss goals, right? What's truly driving us?
Yes. The why.
Is it about improving our health, feeling more confident, setting a good example for our families?
All of those things could be motivating factors.
They could. And connecting to that deeper purpose can make all the difference when those inevitable challenges pop up.
It's like having an anchor.
An anchor. I like that.
That keeps you grounded.
Keeps you grounded when the storms come.
Exactly. It's about reminding ourselves why we started on this journey in the first place
That's so important.
and reaffirming that commitment to ourselves.
It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent.
I love that. Progress over perfection.
And that's where those small, sustainable changes we talked about come in.
Right.
It's not about overhauling our entire lives overnight.
No one can do that.
It's about making those gradual adjustments that we can stick with, even when life gets hectic or stressful.
Small changes add up over time.
They do remember that example from the research about swapping out a sugary breakfast for a jog and a healthier meal.
Oh, yeah. Good example.
That one change, while seemingly small, can create a ripple effect, influencing our choices throughout the day.
I love that visual, a ripple effect.
It's about building momentum and creating a positive cycle of success. Each healthy choice we make reinforces the next, making it easier to stay on track, but, we can't do it alone.
You're absolutely right. The research doesn't delve deeply into it, but the power of support can't be underestimated.
Support is so important.
It is. Surrounding ourselves with people who encourage us, who understand our goals, can make a world of difference.
Whether it's a workout buddy, a supportive friend, an online community, or even a therapist,
Right.
having that network can help us stay accountable and motivated, especially when we're feeling discouraged.
Support systems are essential.
And speaking of discouragement, how does the research address those inevitable setbacks? Because let's face it, they're going to happen.
Setbacks are a normal part of any journey, especially one that involves changing ingrained habits.
Right. It's not linear.
The key is to not beat ourselves up when they happen.
Don't be too hard on yourself.
Instead, view them as learning opportunities.
Learning opportunities.
What triggered the slip-up?
Yeah, what happened?
What can we do differently next time?
What can we learn from this? It's about developing self-awareness and using those experiences to refine our approach to get back on track with a renewed sense of purpose. And of course, we need to celebrate those successes.
Oh, yes. Celebrate the wins.
No matter how small they might seem.
Every victory counts.
Because those small wins add up over time, building our confidence and reinforcing those healthy habits. So as we wrap up this deep dive into weight loss,
A fascinating topic.
I'm feeling really inspired by the idea that this is a journey, not a race.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's about taking care of ourselves, both physically and mentally, and creating a lifestyle that supports our well-being.
Holistic health.
And, for anyone listening who's feeling a bit overwhelmed, remember that lasting change starts with a single step. What's one small step you can take today to move you closer to your goals?
What can you commit to right now?
We've learned so much from this research, and I hope our listeners are feeling empowered to take action.
Take action.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic to explore. Until then, stay curious, stay motivated, and keep learning.
See you next time.